yesterday. There were spring training games that caught our attention, including one out in the Cactus League in Arizona yesterday afternoon. Tommy, can you hear me? Tommy Edman.
Again.
Gonna get 600 plate appearances this year. Big postseason in 2024.
Look at the crowds they're drawing. That's fun. Fun team.
That's the hottest ticket in town.
Max Muncy.
That funky Muncy. Look at how thin he looks, man.
If he was on any other club, we'd be talking about his power. He's going to be the power source of this team.
He's so important.
He is.
They do, no doubt. Drives in a couple 4-0 Dodgers. This is all in the bottom of the first inning. And then they flip the lineup for Ohtani. Draws a bases-loaded walk.
We watched him walk. Okay. Do your thing,
Tommy Edman draws a bases-loaded walk, and you kind of get the idea. So on the other side of the scorecard, Roki Sasaki, all eyes on him. 4 scoreless innings, allowed just 1 hit. In nothing but control. And here's Roki through an interpreter talking about his afternoon in the Cactus League.
The things that I was doing to prepare for the game were the same as last time, and so I'm going to stick to that for my next start as well. But I think there were just a few things with the way I'm using my lower half, just some inconsistency between the things that I'm trying to do and what was actually happening. Difficult to compare like a non-game environment to a game environment, speaking about sort of the first day of camp. But I definitely feel like I'm getting better. There are obviously things that I want to improve on as well, and so I want to make sure I improve on those things during the season as well.
Well, the Dodgers rotation is rounding into form, and it looks like, per David Vassegh, our friend in Los Angeles, Dustin May will stay back in Arizona to prepare for the season as the 5th starter. Tony Gonsolin had a setback, injured his back lifting weights, and he'll start the season on the IL.
Oh, what a bummer.
We spent the whole winter, Harold, you and I, talking about the depth of the Dodgers rotation. Yep. Viably 10 guys that could make a case to crack the starting staff.
Right.
It's whittled its way down to 5. Dustin May gets the number 5 spot.
And this was he battled back.
Yeah.
The second 5, I hate to even
2 years.
Yeah, I hate to even call him the second 5, right? It's like the back 9, whatever. All those guys are the injury battle back guys that are as good as any rotation you're going to see.
No doubt.
His stuff is moving. That pitch he's throwing right there, if he can master that, I don't know if it's intentional. The run on that 2-seamer back in on a right-hand hitter, I haven't seen that very often. But if he can master that, that's an incredible pitch.
We're still not sure as to what we're going to see in Tokyo. We know that Yamamoto likely to start the opener. I think that we can say
with Sasaki, they're lined up. Yamamoto and Sasaki.
Yeah,
that's what they've been doing.
We'll see how it shakes out. But Sasaki looked really good yesterday in his Cactus League start. And you and I were talking during that highlight rip about his split, and you think it's the best you've ever seen? I mean,
it's right there. I've not seen since Nomo came here and really broke that split off, and we went, oh man, that's what that split looks like. I mean, this thing. His fastball, that pitch right there, forget it. The combination of that fastball, because he throws at such a high velocity, and everybody's worried about, does he throw 99, does he throw 100? You can throw 85 and say, here's my split. It doesn't matter. This thing is dropping a foot.
Yeah.
You're not catching it.
We should quantify that because, the guy that we talk about having the great split, Ohtani when he's pitching, Kevin Gossman, right? He's made that his signature pitch. It looks like Sasaki's gets more depth than both.
Way more depth. It's almost like Dave Stewart threw what they call a fork ball, right?
Right.
It's almost like Dave Stewart bite, but Dave Stewart's wasn't at 90 miles an hour. That's the thing. And the battle for any hitter, the difference with the split and the fastball is everybody's in the same spot. And then here, it changes on you on release.
And you can think about relievers. Like Jose Mesa threw a real good split. Smoltz had a good split, right? This thing's
that's filthy.
Crazy. Yeah. More Dodgers news. Before we move on, we talked about Dave Roberts yesterday and the extension, and he talked about the quiet optimism. It's official now, right? 4 years extension. It's the richest in managerial history, not just by a Dodger skipper. 4 years, which keeps him there through 2029. Congratulations to Doc. Well-deserved. We had this discussion yesterday about how he had to kind of sing for his supper there for a few years.
Yeah.
And now it's just he is a part of the fabric of Dodger baseball.
Well, I think it's a great move, obviously, for what he's done. Look at the winning record here. But I think what also, Matt, it's doing is we have a lot of managers that are the face of those franchises. Like when you think about what's happening in Tampa, who's their guy? Cash. Mm-hmm. If you think about what's happening in Arizona, who's their guy? Lavello. Mm-hmm. If you see what's happening in Detroit, A.J. Hinch. Yeah. The managers are now becoming vaulted back to the top again.
Right.
For a long period of time, they thought you could just put anybody in that seat, and that's just the way it runs. You got to have an identifier. And this is Dave Roberts' Dodgers. It's an identified, Billy Ball, whatever it might be. Yeah. You have that identification.
Good teams rarely change managers and almost never change uniforms. Crappy teams recycle managers and they go through new logos and new uniforms all the time.
True.
Because they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. All right, let's hit you with one other spring highlight from the Cactus League, and that was a Cubs and Brewers at I-94 battling Dad.
Ooh, I wasn't expecting that to happen.
He's Hoskins.
Clipped him.
Second year in Milwaukee, and starting spring well. How about Matt Shaw, the kid who's getting the keys to the third base job in Chicago?
Tell you what, I like his swing. It looks like he's even changed his swing a little bit since the fall ball. But he's
Shortstop as an amateur.
back healthy.
He's going to be good. PCA, this is Pete Crow Armstrong. Opposite
Crow.
field.
What did they say how many bags he's going to steal? 50?
No, I think the number 30 plus, the betting number. Anyway,
Yeah,
Brewers end up
he'll
winning
get
that one
30.
by
He'll
a
get
final
30
of
above.
9-7.
Our manager interview is presented by Sage. Terry Francona joins us now. Terry, it's great to see you again.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
D-Row, though, has the first question, okay?
What the heck are we doing?
That's
here?
not what you said. That's not the message I got.
That handicap was down to a 3.
I know. You know what?
Hey, they couldn't
You know what?
be more fortunate to have you back.
D-Row, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was not thinking about coming back manager.
Really?
No. I had a good year. I really did. When they came, and I caught myself early on, like saying, hey, well, we could do this. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. It just felt right. It felt right 12 years ago when I was in Cleveland, and it felt right again. I like where I'm at. And that's a good thing, man.
Yeah.
Like,
So when you walk in, you address the guys for the first time. What was the message?
I probably got a little charged up
Yeah.
because, you know, I can get a little excited talking about baseball. But with this group, when you talk to them, like they look at you and they nod and they listen. I mean, they want to get better. And I told them, I said, we're going to go through this together. It's not like when we play good, it's us, and when we play bad, it's you.
Yeah.
We'll do this together. And that's how I've always felt.
Yeah.
What is it like to manage Ellie De La Cruz?
Yeah.
That's a different person, right?
Well,
What
he's
do you
a
think?
great person. I mean, if I had his talent, I'd be that happy too.
What's the right number for a guy who is the best base stealer in the game?
The right number for me is more how much are you successful, not the actual number. If we can run the bases aggressively and then add intelligence, we're good.
The game begins and ends on the mound. You know that. You got a frontline guy in Hunter Green. You got guys that are ready to take that next step.
D-Row, truth be told, they've all gotten nicked up a little bit along the way.
Yeah.
We got to keep them healthy. Hunter Green, like a lot of good young players, he looks ready to take another step. Lodolo's right behind him. And we got Singer from Kansas City. I love his professionalism.
That's why you're perfect for
Well,
this.
they're good for me, though.
Yeah.
See, sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's the other way around. These guys are energizing me. Like, talk to Matt McClain for 5 minutes or Friedel. I mean, it's fun, man.
I was looking at the all-time manager win list. I know you might not.
boy.
Where is he?
Next up, you're 13th, but you can pass this year Leo DeRocher.
Similar personalities.
Oh, no, yeah. And then another very different guy, Walter Alston.
Oh,
on
boy.
that list. What does it mean to you to be on the list with these legends of the game?
It makes me uncomfortable because, and I'm a fan of the game, but it's got to be about the players. Like, that's what a manager's supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to put the player and the organization first and yourself a distant last. So I get uncomfortable, but I mean, I'm proud. Makes me feel old, but it's got to be about the players.
One last thing. How is your health? Like, how are you holding up these days?
I think I'm okay. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't feel all right. I get up in the morning and make myself swim at 5:30. And when I do that, I can actually move around. Some days I use this for a fungo. Some days it's for a cane. I told the coaches there'll be days when I got to get off my legs, but I'm just trying to keep it to a minimum because I want to be able to do my job. And I didn't feel like at the end in Cleveland I was doing my job the way you're supposed to, and it really bothered me.
Well, it's great to see you back,
Thank
Terry.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you
congrats
so
on
much,
that.
guys.
Yeah,
Thanks,
We'll
D-Row.
get you like a T-shirt. DeRocher is next. How about that?
No,
You're mine.
no,
You're
please,
mine, Leo.
Please don't.